So this is going to be another one of those kind of, just like simple high level things that I really think as we begin to go in and really get more into, hey, we're actually all these things that we're doing, we're all these things that we're learning, we're actually going in and doing them every single day in a consistent manner. We're going in and doing all this, that we actually have some goal, and that goal is a maintainable, achievable goal. All right. And you guys maybe have that in your head somewhere, or maybe you don't. Maybe you still in yourself. Like if your goal is I want to make more money, that's a shit goal. All right. If your goal is not, and why do I say that's a shit goal? Because it's not quantifiable. There's no way that, there's no real tangible way that you can measure performance against that goal and see, okay, how well am I doing? I also want to make more money. I made more money today. I at least got 3 extra people to pay me $7 a month for my fucking friendship. That's an extra $21 I made. Okay. Is there a clear way where I can tangibly go in and actually quantify and measure performance against my actual goal? No. Okay. So you need a goal. You need to make sure that you actually set goals. Me, I have goals right now for what I want to. I don't have any goal that personally, I don't have any actual goal of really what I want to get done today. Like, oh, I have this huge goal that I want to get done today, other than I need to do this training today. It's the only real goal that I was like, okay, hey, this is the thing that I'm actually going to accomplish. Other than that, I don't have any like goals written down for today. I do have very high level goals that are distributed over the end of this quarter, like what needs to be done by the end of this quarter, what I'm going to plan on be doing in the next quarter, and then all the way up until 5 years from now, like what are those goals from here to 5 years? Like literally, I know what they are. I track them, I measure them. All right. And they're quantifiable actual things. So if I go in and I can show you right now, for example, here's one of them that I literally, like, I want more money for sure. Like I need to make more money. All right. One of those goals is literally lined out right here, and I look at it almost every single day. All right. And all the data in the matrix for what I'm trying to achieve is literally, the actual results are right here measured out. Now, this is a little bit different than what it actually should be, because why? Because today I was going in and actually spending time and doing that and actually looking at where I'm at right now versus what my plan was to be at by the end of this quarter, and by the end of next quarter, and by the end of the year. All right. I've got a high long-term 5-year goal that is also, I've mapped out behind me, and you can't see it right now. But it's literally been mapped out several times. I do it several times. That's why I have so many whiteboards and stuff here. So it's really important that you guys as well, I'm not going to sit and tell you, okay, you need to do it like this. You need to get a notebook and you need to write this shit down and put a sticker on your refrigerator. Ultimately, again, I want to default back to, it's up to you. I mean, this is your thing. It's up to you. Your success is completely up to you. Do you know what your actual goals are? And are those goals somehow spelled out and written out that you can go in and track performance, and they're laid out in a way that is not an arbitrary goal, and it's also attainable. All right. So to give you a real example of this, my partner program. All right. Mathematically, I've got worked out that I can take on, 1,250 partners. Before, I couldn't take on any more, because if I took on more, what it would actually do is it would at that mathematical point, it would make me a minority shareholder in the company that I created myself, which seems pretty stupid to me. All right. So I know that mathematically I can bring on at most 1,250 partners, and that's my end goal. All right. Now I know I can't just go in and be like, okay, hey, I want to get those 1,250 partners, because there's no. There is a way to measure results, and you can see it right here. Like how many do I have right now versus where I'm at. But if I go in and say, hey, look, I need that by tomorrow, or I need that by next 12 months, is this something that I can realistically actually achieve? It's really dumb for me to go in and make a goal that is not realistic for me to actually accomplish that goal. Like if I was to go in, like if you look at the whole Tier 5 partnership model, The 5-year goal is to make it where all the tier 5 partners are actually making a good amount of revenue without having to actually do anything, real passive revenue. And what that means is, from my perspective, we have a software that's actually doing is that guy is actually written up there, and you can't see it. He's called a self-sustaining software that generates $10 million a month worth of revenue. All right, and maybe that seems like a really high number to you guys, but it's not really that high of a number. Mathematically, that works out really good for tier 5 partners. They make what would be considered in any country in the world, including the highest, paid countries in the world, something that is above the happiness index in that country. So that means that their passive income is greater than what that country is telling you is the minimum income requirements for you to have a happy, comfortable life. And those things are unfortunately arbitrary defined, but there is a number that you can go in and look up. That's that happiness index. Okay, that's my long-term goal. Now, does it make sense for me to go in and say, hey, look, is that achievable in 5 years for me? In 5 years, is it achievable for me to go in and generate a software that generate a system that is doing $10 million a year worth of revenue, or $10 million a month worth of revenue? Well, one, if I look at ClickFunnels and I model ClickFunnels and I do their numbers and see, okay, they've got 80,000 paying users right now, paying at least $100 a month. That's $8 million a month. They've been around, about 3 months. They only have one software, and they're not really wanting to build multiple softwares to attack multiple different niches. So yeah, it seems 100% achievable to me that I could actually achieve those goals if I execute certain things along the way. What's the first thing that I need to do? Well, the first thing that I need to do is actually fill up my partner program. So my first achievable goal is to essentially go in and get 350 partners. And and there's a reason, okay? So ultimately, at the end of the day, you have to have your own reasons for everything. My reason is because if I go in and actually mathematically, and the reason I'm telling you all this is not because, hey, you need to go do this, this, and this. It's so that you can kind of understand to me how these things are actually working, that there's a thought process and everything's justifiable to me. And it's also put into in a way that's actually achievable for me to go in and actually achieve these results. If I go in and do this, and that's why I'm saying that it makes sense to me, because if I go in and change this number right here to 350, you'll see what actually happens is this right here happens. You can see here's a mathematical thing. And if you just look at this graph, you can see what happens in this graph. Here was phase 1. I set this goal that I set. This was a year-long goal that I said, hey, look, I want to transition from selling software services to make the revenue from our company to being a product-based company and getting all our money from the software that we actually produce and sell, people using that software. So I knew in order for me to replace that revenue with software sales, people just actually buying our software, I was going to have to do a lot of marketing for the individual softwares. So I scrapped that and I came up with the partnership model, because that was a much easier achievable goal for me to say, hey, in 1 year, I can tell all my clients to fuck off and I don't have to work for them, because I've got what I need, the working capital, to then go in and actually do my 5-year goal, which is create, all of our revenue coming in just from the software itself and not needing anything else, have that self-sustaining ecosystem. All right. So this partnership right here is that very first goal that I set. It was last year. I beat it by like 12 days. I set the deadline for, during that year, by the end of the year, I wanted to be able to get rid of all my clients and have our operating costs covered by the tier 5 partners. All right. So if you just look at these numbers, this is the new goal, and it's creating a redundancy it's essentially creating a fail-safe and a redundancy for the tier 5 partnership. So this number right here is, once I reach this number, then you see these guys kind of equal out right here. Actually, this new goal is a little bit more than this guy right here. Now, is that achievable for me so that goal set for me by the end of the 3rd quarter. Okay, that's my goal by the end of this actual 3rd quarter, is to have those guys. Well, I have these many guys right now already, and I've been doing this. This program's been open. This program right here has been open for 2 months. Maybe a little bit more than 2 months is when it's actually been open and being promoted. So does that seem achievable? I got 4 more months, and I need what? I need another 225 people. So it's totally achievable for me. Now, I hope you guys understand the point that I don't just have arbitrary goals like, hey, I want to make more money. Like, my goals are based on factual things that I really actually want to accomplish, and I spend a good amount of time actually saying, okay, and setting those goals. Why do I need this goal? Well, I've got a lot of different reasons why I actually have set these revenue goals, all right? Now, me telling you my reasons may or may not actually help you make your own reasons, but my end point is you need to make sure that you actually have clear, defined goals that you can really say, like, okay, this is my actual goal, and you could put some intellectual thought process behind that more than, yeah, I want to make more money, or, I want to have more customers. Because those things, if you make goals like that, one of two things are going to happen. You're not going to hit your goals because you didn't make actual real goals that are really quantifiable, or you're not going to really reach the potential that you could reach, right? I could make myself a goal. Hey, I want more partners. All right. And now fucking 4 months go by, and it's the end of the third quarter, and I've got, 100 and I don't know how many I have right now, 122. I got 167 partners. All right. Well, fuck, I've got more partners. Great. So did I achieve my goal? Sure. I made my little goal, but did I set the actual, a realistic goal that, hey, if I actually work enough, did I set a goal that's going to maximize what I can get my output? No, I didn't. I set some stupid real goal. I didn't actually quantify it. Whenever I'm setting my goals, I go in and actually quantify it to say, hey, this is what I could actually achieve comfortably with a margin of error. I should be able to achieve this if I just keep doing what I've been doing and get a little bit better at it. All right. So you guys need to just make sure that you have those goals and you set those goals, and they're not ambiguous and they're not arbitrary. They're something that have some actual structure and meaning. There's reasons that you've actually set those goals, and there's a way that you can go in and measure your progress and see, like now anytime I can go in and say, hey, how close am I to my goal? Am I going to make this? Am I not going to make this? What things do I need to do? Do I need to get outside help from somebody? Because I can just see over time, because I've actually set tangible, actual goals that I know myself are realistic for me to achieve if I do the stuff that I need to do. Now, if I don't, if I set an unrealistic goal and I don't achieve it, what's going to happen is I'm going to get demotivated because I didn't hit that goal, and I may be doing something phenomenal that I should fucking keep doing because it's efficient and it's awesome, and I'm having great success with it. But I may decide, fuck it, I'm not going to do it anymore. Why? Because it didn't give me the results that I wanted. Because the results that I wanted, I set very unrealistically. So now whenever I get demotivated, I think what I'm doing isn't actually working because it didn't give me the results that I just fictitiously set, when what I'm doing is actually working. I just didn't have a realistic goal in the first place. So I feel that it's really necessary to make sure that everybody understands that you need real tangible goals, and those things should actually be realistic. Because when they're not realistic, you're just fucking yourself. All right. And that's about it on that, unless you guys have any question on goals.
I think it also demotivates you as well, like, because I think when we was talking last week about, or the week before, about clarity, and on the run up to that, I was in a good place, making goals and saying, okay, I wanted to get one YouTube video out a day, and get per day. I think where the goal was unrealistic, and I was driving towards that one video a day, I was actually getting quite exhausted coming in from work, trying to get the video out for every day, and for the space of about 10 days, I was able to do that. But after the 10 days, I burnt myself out, and then I didn't see any results for 14, 15 days. And then after the 14, 15 days, it's when I logged into my ClickFunnels account and then saw the residual income that came off the back of them. But by then, I'd burnt out a bit. My goals weren't aligned. They were unrealistic, and I lost a lot of motivation. A lot of, I think having that whiteboard and seeing your 30-day plan and what you want to achieve in them 30 days is the reason you get up and keep driving towards that success. Because right now, I think lack of clarity and lack of specific goals and processes is where I am at right now, which is a bit demotivating. But I said, this call is actually giving me a bit of a rocket up the arse to go, right, once the call's over, I need to set my goals again. So Yeah,
I,
good.
I hope you guys understand. Nobody can really set those, but you guys. Trust me. I couldn't join any coaching program myself. I couldn't join any coaching program or buy fucking anything from anybody that would be able to fucking tell me what my goals should be. And if somebody did come in and tell me what my goals would be, those would be set. Trust me, those would be stupid ass goals. Those would be somebody trying to think what I actually want and trying to understand what I want and what I actually desire, and then set arbitrages on top of that. Only you can actually set your goals, and only you can really know. And it goes back again to clarity. Only you can know what it is that you actually want, where you actually want to be, and you can set your goals. Literally, you just have to sit and think and spend time. And we talked about this before. There's not. I can't give you a 1, 2, 3 goals are done. Okay, I can't do that. 1, 2, 3 goals are done. It's more like, hey, go think of really what you want. I know what I want. No one's telling me, I'm not talking to anybody and they're telling me, hey, John, here's it. Okay, set this goal, get these many partners by this time, get this by this time, do this by that time. Those I'm all internally driving. So you guys have to do the same thing. And you guys are more than capable of doing that. And if you're not able to do that, I think Mario, then it's going to go back to some form of clarity where you're not actually clear what you want, and you haven't got real clear on, okay, hey, what am I actually wanting? What am I actually striving for? All right. But I don't have an end goal. All right. Whenever I do have an end goal, actually. All right. My end goal is to get to a point where every single one of you guys have a computer chip in your head. We're all in a hive mind, and I can actually contemplate the more, I can answer the mysteries of the universe. All right. And then fade into nothingness. But that until then, I've got to make little micro things that can get me there, and they have to be tangible. If not, it's going to. You can't work demotivated, man. You can't work. You can't work whenever you feel like, Mario, if you're sitting there and you're like, okay, hey, I got to make a video every single day, and that's my goal, and you miss a day or two, then what? Now you feel like, what do you tell yourself in your mind? Well, now today I got to make 3 videos. Yesterday I didn't even want to make 1. Now I got to fucking make 3. I'm fucking behind. I'm still going to be behind. So whatever it is that you want to accomplish, make sure it's realistic, and make sure you're working towards that. I mean, you can see, and I've literally showed you that my stuff's in my face every single day. I know what I want. I know what's realistic and what's possible if I keep doing the work, what I can accomplish, what's possible for me. I don't want to kill myself, but I do want to get a certain amount of stuff done. And I look at it every single day and I measure, hey, where am I going? Now, if I fall short, I know right now that I'll hit my goal before I need to actually hit it. Probably realistically by like 22 days beforehand, I'll have my 350 partners. And how do I know that? Because I'm looking at the data every single day. So do you guys have other questions, or are you guys good on this? I know this is just kind of really high level stuff that I can't give you a 1, 2, 3, hey, do this, but I really feel like it's important that you guys have this in your mind from the very beginning.
Good for mind.
Everybody else good?